Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Power Half Hour Unstoppable Business Owner. And I'm your host, Dorothea Dale, for this evening. I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of our show, Mr. Owen Sharp, with his book, The Great Flood of Bowmanland. Definitely get your copy today on Amazon for just a low price of $2.99 for the digital copy, or get yourself it's in paperback now too, so great Christmas gift items for your children between the ages of 1 to 7. So get your copy today. With that, I have the distinct pleasure of bringing Mr. Anthony Johnson back to the show. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm great, Dorothy. How are you?
Man, I'm doing good, but it feels like forever. I mean, it took us 15 minutes to catch up in the green room before we started this show. It's Anthony, my friend. It's been a while. I know you've got a lot of new things to share with our guests today. And so, for those of you that don't remember, Anthony is the owner of B.r.I.T.e. So, Anthony, tell us a little bit about what B.r.I.T.e. does and who it serves.
Okay, so BRIGHT stands for Brilliant, Reliable, Intelligent, Transparent, and Efficient. So it's a light bulb. So BRIGHT CC is an organization that was designed to help veterans transitioning from the military to their civilian life, and has also established for veterans who are already transitioned out. And so we focus on mental health, disability ratings, social security ratings, helping veterans get back into school, finding those educational benefits that work for them, doing things like interview processing, refining resumes, and just unlimited resources for veterans out there. And also with Bright CC, there's an app that's available on Google and Apple Market for you. It's completely free, houses those same resources. But what I designed was pretty much putting a lot of information there for veterans to answer those questions and get them in those directions. So they don't have to go on the internet and do a bunch of searching. They don't have to like go phone a friend, or you don't have to go spend hundreds and thousands of dollars trying to get this information. So for all you veterans out there, please check out brightcc.com and look us up on the app market.
I absolutely love that. And Anthony is constantly putting things up there on that app. I'm also a member of the app too. He let me in since I'm a veteran ally, and so I get to take a sneak peek. Uh, you know, but I love what he's doing for our veteran community. I actually recommend all my veterans that I get in communication with to get onto this app. That's totally unlimited resources up there, my friend, that you've put together for the veteran community. And being a veteran yourself, you know what it's like to transition.
Exactly. That's like the driving force, just being like a veteran myself and understanding and going through those trial and tribulations, and just realizing that in order for us to really get what we want and what we deserve, we kind of have to do the legwork ourselves. So that was the birth of everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. And not only did you serve, you're currently your spouse is serving.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
so I mean, in Tony's house, they've got it all. So this man knows what it's like to go from beginning to end and still be there, and then be the spouse of the active duty member. So,
Yes.
man, and his life is so full. I'm not going to say busy, but it's full. Um, you know, on top of all that, you're still studying for your
Still
what is
studying,
it?
yes, for my
Yeah.
doctor's degree in occupational therapy. And I'm glad the fact that you mentioned that I'm a spouse. I like to apologize. Bright is also available for dependents as well, not just veterans. So that's spouses, that's children, that's parents. If you're dependent as well, by all means, get on the app. It's for you as well. So I apologize. I said veterans. I should have said veterans and veteran community. So yeah, we have availability and love for dependents as well. Got to.
Well, now that we've had that conversation, shit, I can have you on our Mayday moments. We're doing a series on spouses and what it's like to be a spouse of somebody who's either still active duty or was active duty. So I'm able to get you over there to share your story over there.
Oh, that would be
Um,
That would be so cool.
I, well, here at Unstoppable Overcomers Productions, our veterans are um, definitely the top of the people that we do serve. So, in all capacities. And when I come across people like Tony that, you know, is not only been in the trenches but is helping others, you know, I like to make sure that they get their stories out there. So,
You're amazing. I love you,
well,
Dorothy.
oh, well, thank you. I love you too. I have, like I said, huge heart for our veteran community, and that's why. And I love your smile. It's just like lights the room. Oh, funny, I used those exact words that somebody said to me years ago. But anyways, enough about me. So we're here tonight because we Tony talked about what the B stood for. Oh my gosh, it's been a month or so to go get that to watch that episode. Go to our YouTube channel because it is up on our YouTube channel, so make sure you go check that out. But tonight we're talking about the letter B in bright. So again, what does R stand for? R. We're talking about R tonight, not B. Oh my god.
Oh, that's funny.
We talked about B. We're on R right now. So R stands for what?
Reliable.
Reliable. And see, that just led what I just said, just led into it was all set up. It was all set up, very premeditated. So reliable. Talk to us about the reliability in
All
Bright.
right. So reliability. So when it comes to this veteran world community resources, I realized reliability was a really big factor. Now, prior to me being able to establish this company myself, I actually had the privilege to working for an organization that did similar services as myself. I won't disclose their company name or information just because ill practices. But under this organization, what I realized was that reliability wasn't a factor for a lot of the organizations. Veterans were going to these businesses and expecting to get mostly 100% disability, or they get answers to conditions that they had. And honestly, the primary goal of those organizations, or that one specifically, was to get the patient, get that veteran in, get them out. If we got them to 100% disability, that's great. We're going to take their back pay and pushing them flowing. And while the veterans did reach their targeted goal, the 100% disability, they still were lost. They still didn't know what to do, what to go, what do I do now? And so when I sat back and I thought about Bright, I really want to make sure that I had an organization that was going to be held reliable, not just for ourselves, but to the community. But I also want to give that same energy and power back to veterans and let veterans be reliable for their own disability and their own benefits. Because one thing that we learn while we're all actively serving is that you're in control of your career. They always tell you that no matter what branch, you are in control of your career, you're in control of the network, you're in control of the services. And when we transition it out, it's almost like we forget to be reliable of our own resources. And we become dependent upon these shark companies to navigate for us and speak for us. And unfortunately, the nation is going through so much, we can't rely on just Congress and the White House and politics to vouch for us. So that's where reliability comes from. Reliable. I want to make sure that when I met every veteran, they understood that this relationship that we're building moving forward, that we both were going to be held reliable for what we put in. I was going to hold my part on research, committing to the cause, getting you what you think you deserve, and really finding those in-depth answers. And in return, the veteran is going to be reliable for standing face on what they believe and pushing through all the adversity.
Wow. That is that I'm kind of at a loss for words here. Because we talk about reliability and we talk about you trust and things like that. And if you, in my opinion, just me, if you're not reliable, you can't be trusted. Like,
Exactly.
why am I going to put my resources in something that is not reliable or that I could trust? And over the last couple of years, you get to know who's reliable and who isn't. If you're not your word is your bond. I know I'm old fashioned, and I know still some people today don't get that. But If your company and products or services aren't reliable, how can people trust that?
Exactly. And honestly, that's what I was feeling as I kind of worked through my own disability and research journey. I was going from company to company. I was reading book from book. I was listening from veteran to veteran. And when I realized at the end of the day, it was none of my resources were reliable. They were like fragments of information. And I just felt I could feel the pressure myself, like, all right, I can't go back in. I need help. I need extra income. I need to be able to have healthcare benefits. I want to be able to understand my GI Bill so I can go back to college and get the degree that I want and not just go to school. And that really just honestly put me in a sunken place. And someone who really took a lot of pride in their military career, and I'm pretty forward focused and I'm very, very goal driven, caught myself in a tidal wave of chaos because my resources and the stuff was put me wasn't reliable. So, like I said, Dorothy, when I sat down to really organize this company and really decide to move forward with my passion, the first thing that I realized was like one of my values in this business had to be reliable. I had to be reliable for the things that I said I was going to do. Because if not, I was no different from the individuals that failed me in the first place.
Right. Exactly. And good for you for realizing that, instead of just saying, well, that's how it was for me. You decided, no, that was enough, that you were going to make sure that the people that you brought on board and people that you served knew that they could have reliable information at their fingertips, on an app, on their phones. There's so much good stuff in this app. I'm going to just to share that I do have it here. So on the app, not only the first thing that pops up um, is your VA government login is what I see on there, and so I just want I know you can share it too, but um, just to prove that I do have it on here. But and then the general information, and then you even have resources. Um, the crisis hotline. I think
Yes.
that everybody um, should have access to that. And it's just one thing after another. Like there's so much on here that I haven't even been able to go take a look, honestly. And then, you know,
And it's
it's just so
growing. And it's
it's
growing. And it's
and
growing, Dorothy. And
and
it's
it's growing. Exactly.
I
But
want
it's
to
all reliable information that you have put at people's fingertips.
exactly. Exactly. And honestly, reliability is probably the growing motivation behind everything, especially the growth of it. I can remember when it first came out, it wasn't a lot. It was a little visual overwhelming. It was a couple resources, and my whole thing was all about, a little bit of disability information. How do you figure this out, and how do you determine what your rating is, and how do you know what condition equals this? I started expanding more to being, well, what's a little bit more reliable information people could use? How do you get a job? What jobs are out there for veterans and their spouses? And so the more research I did and the more I kind of tapped into my personal value of reliability, I watched the company kind of grow a lot faster. I realized I was able to really sit with other veterans and really have that in-depth conversation about what they really wanted and how could I bring that reliability back to them. Because like I said, transition out, you can lose it. You can lose yourself. You can lose that hey, I'm in charge. I gotta move those steps. You really kind of get this misconception that hey, I'm a veteran and someone's gonna take care of me. And unfortunately, all you veterans out there, I want you to know no one's out there to take care of us. You have to take care of you. You're in charge of this. You have to be reliable of your resources. You have to be reliable for your income. You have to be reliable for your education, the medication that you take, even the people that you talk to. You have to be reliable. And so, one big thing that I really want to push and share out there is if anything, if you don't download the app, if you never talk to me in person, if you take anything, take the R, take reliability. Be reliable for yourself and really get yourself where you need to be with your own benefits.
Ooh, I love that you said that. And some some people that I've interviewed, it's just like, okay, how do I put this without it being a slap in the face? I'm just gonna say it, and then I'm sure I'll hear about it later. But we have to take accountability for our actions. Yes,
Yeah,
you know, it's out there, like you said, right? There's a lot of information out there, and then they play the blame game. Well, so and so did this, but did you do your due diligence, right? And it should be that anybody who gets information, it should be from a reliable source. But nowadays, unfortunately, there's a lot of crap out there. And
true.
so weeding through that, but taking accountability and of your own actions and making sure that you got the proper information. And that's why I love being in communication with you, Tony, because I know that people, when I send somebody to you, they're going to get the proper information. And like I said, I've over the last 2 years, in all the veteran communities that I've been associated with, there's still, I hate to say it, a lot of people out there that are like sharks in water and just doing what they want to do. And that's why it's so important to surround yourself with the right people, and reliable people that can get you the right information. And so thank you for bringing that to the forefront, especially for other veterans and that community and spouses and I really wish that people would see this now before they transition out, because I know I've heard so many horror stories like, oh yeah, you get this 2-week program and then you're booted out after 20 some odd years of service, right? And so you're supposed to learn everything in 2 weeks, after you just gave up your life, your freedoms for 20 years,
Years.
and then you're just given like a package and go deal with it, right? And then it's whether it's reliable or not, I don't know. I can't vouch for that because I've never been in that situation. But there's so many questions. And who do you ask in 2 weeks? Right? You really can't possibly even begin to fathom what is ahead of you. Not only do you have the thought of, wait a minute, I just been in this uniform for 20 years. This has defined me for 20 years. Now, who the hell am I once I leave? Right? You
Exactly.
guys have got that going on. Then you've got, well, what am I going to do next? Or, oh, great. Now I'm at home with my wife and my kids, or my husband and my kids now.
How do I maintain
How,
this?
how do I do with that? And they expect me to be like, whoo, super, super dad or super mom, and still dealing with everything that you deal with, on top of losing all your comrades because you're not there with them every day, on top of um, everything else that you guys deal with transitioning. It's a hell of a lot.
It is.
Like,
It really is.
it's mind blowing, and I've never even been through the process, and I can't even imagine. But just hearing everybody's stories that I've interviewed over the last couple of years, and it's just like, man, there's got to be something more. And so here you are providing that something more and the reliable information to get them from point A to point B.
Thank you, thank you. And I also want to point out, and I guess I want to acknowledge for Bright itself is that right now, there's a lot of information as far as resources. There's a lot of one-on-one with veterans to setting them up with like how to work the VA.gov website, how to understand the types of disability entitlements they have, what percentages of what, how to use all these resources like getting the VA home loan. So that is a big portion of the service right now. I would say we are starting to slowly transition to phase two of Bright, and that's really being able to offer that actual healthcare service. So Bright now officially does have an NPI, so it is recognized on a national level as a clinic, where we're providing, well, we will be providing occupational therapy and social work services starting off. And like I said, to be able to get that reliability back, veterans will be able to see not only do you get educational benefits, not only do you get the steps and the tools to walk you through your process when you get out, you're going to get a form of healthcare for your mental health and for your transition with reliable healthcare professionals who are going to take a holistic approach and not try to push medications down your throat, but to really focus on those human occupational impairments or disconnects that you feel, and really get you back to feeling like yourself all over again. So, like I said, we are transitioning to phase two. I'm super excited to really be able to get some veterans in to not only just participate in, like I said, getting their resources, but on the other side, being able to get them that connection with a mental health, social worker, occupational therapist that can really bring back that holistic point of view and kind of put everybody back on the right track. So stay tuned because more is coming.
I have no doubt, friend. Like, I don't know. I think the last time we met was like a month or month and a half ago, and maybe even 2 months. But in that time, it's like what you just told me before this show started. It's like people would do that in a lifetime, and you've managed to do that in 2 months. So, I mean, Tony never sits still long enough. The guy is like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps going and going and going.
That's true.
And he is out there fighting for you, to make sure that all our veteran community gets what they need. Um, so being reliable as they can be.
Yes, I realized, Dorothy, this this field that I'm going in, this career path that I've chosen, this lifestyle that I've taken on, that it's it's gonna be a marathon and it's gonna be a very, very long time. And I have to keep myself reliable for the growth. I can't be stagnant. I can't stay in one area. And so much happens without veteran resources. So much happens with a veteran. So much happens with veterans communities and spouses and dependents. So in order for me to constantly be reliable of my organization and my message and what I stand for, I have to grow. And so, I just want veterans to know that in due time, this organization will be big enough on major platforms where it's almost shoved down your face, but it's shoved down your face because it's gonna be that breath of fresh air that you've been looking for, that you've been begging for. A lot of these resources they're free right now, and even when we get to the point of like charging and making actual income, we're focusing on like building insurance companies so veterans don't have to pay out of their pocket, being able to and really be able to explain and get veterans those resources so you don't feel like you're just draining your bank account. So trust me, believe me, in time there will be this phenomenal organization called Bright CC that'll be available across the globe for any veteran that's actively now being out, that is transitioning out to get you where you need to get, because that's all I care about now. That's my whole purpose in life now. That's my mission goes to the day I leave here, is to put Bright out in the universe and get veterans where they want to be.
Wow. Right? Veteran owns, veteran, what is that slogan? For the people, by the people.
Yeah.
There's a slogan out there, but it just when you said that, it reminded me of that slogan. Veteran owned, for the veterans, for
I'd have been,
being all they can be by the veterans. Yes.
but yeah, that's what we are. And there's more to come. Trust me, there's so much more to come. I could talk about all the things Bright has lined up for veterans, but of course we would speak for hours. And sometimes I want to leave things surprises. But for
Exactly.
all those veterans out there, if you are scared, if you are unsure, you're uncertain, I want you to know that I was in your same position. I was in your same shoes, and I got out well. And if you can't trust in yourself, trust in companies like mine. Find the ones that have true values that you can connect with, that can hear your story, resonate with that story, and find you a solution that's going to work best for you. And if you can't find them, know that Bright is out there and it does exist. And get your ass over here.
I love that. Get your ass over there. So yes, go to the www.bright-cc.com. Go check that out. It, if you need an actual invite, let me know, because we'll get you the invite. I can invite you from mine, or Anthony can invite you from his. but it doesn't matter. We'll get you over there, get you the resources you need, the reliability that you need.
Exactly.
Um,
And if you're
I can't.
sorry, Dorothy, and if you're on the website and you have questions, there's always somebody live. There'll never be a moment when you get on the website and you hit the chat box. You'll never get an AI bot. You'll never get an automated message. Someone live will always be present to answer your question. So, for all you veterans out there that has a question about resources, how does Bright work? Where did it start? Who are you? Get on the chat box, send a message. Then a couple of seconds, someone on the staff will get back to you. I promise you.
See, Tony doesn't sleep. He just isn't the automatic energizer bunny. He just keeps going and going. Oh man, I love this, and I can't wait to hear because we're gonna have Tony come back, and he'll be talking about the I in Bright. Um, Stay tuned for that. It's coming. We haven't set a date yet, but we will. Um, but yeah, I love this. Well, maybe it would be 2 months from now because by then you'll have everything like completely up.
Oh man, in 2 months, there's a lot. There's a lot planned for the next 2 months. I will say there are some significant changes that are coming in the next 2 months. With regards to more people being a part of Bright, as far as employees, more visuals. There is a Bright appeal brand that's coming out for those who would like to wear Bright merchandise. Uh,
Of course, there is. I
it just
have
grows.
no doubt. I have no doubt, my friend. No doubt. Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Tony. Um, is there any last words before we wrap this up on
Hmm.
what you would like our bachelor community to know?
Yes. I would like to just close this awesome podcast this evening, this awesome episode for tonight with veterans. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be unsure. Honestly, it's okay to feel all the emotions in the world. Just know that we all feel it. We're all together. And if you don't have a place that's called home, just know that you have a home at Bright. So I'll see you there.
Love, love, love that. Again, I'll put that up www.bright/cc.com. And go load your app on your Apple phone. You said it's on Android now too?
Oh, it is. Yes.
Oh, it's on Android too. So Apple and Android, get your stuff up there. Thank you so much, Tony, for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure having you on, and thank you for coming on tonight. And for those of you that are in the comments and watching this episode, we thank you for being here. And don't forget, be unstoppable in all that you do. And for any business owner out there that would love to hear more about our social media in a box, social media kit in a box, reach out to me today. We have some amazing things going on now, and especially in the new year as well. But we're out there for the small business owner that wants to be seen and heard and doesn't have the time to create their own videos, their own trailers, and their own you know social media's coverages. So that's what we're here for. We're out here to make you be seen and heard. So with that, stay tuned for more. Don't forget to check us out on our Roku channel and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Bye for now.